Rafael Varane officially retires from football. Erik Ten Hag, best 11 uncertainty, plus a bit of a preview ahead of Manchester United's Europa League clash against FC Twente. But before we get into that, please do me one small favour. Smash a like on today's video. Let's try and see 500 likes on this episode. And if this is your first time watching, please also subscribe to the channel. We're currently only 2 subscribers away from 39,700. So if this is your first time watching, make sure you get involved and let's try and hit that next milestone today. Right. Let's start the show off by talking a little bit about the game tonight against FC Twente. The good news is most of the players are back. Mason Mount's available, Højlund's available, Lindelof's available. The only people who are currently missing through injury are Lenny Yoro, Luke Shaw, and Malacia. Yeah, just those 3. Everybody else is back. Everybody else is fit. Everybody else is available to start, which is such good news. It should mean that we see some rotation. Hopefully we see Højlund tonight. Hopefully we see Mason Mount tonight. I would even give Lindelof some game time tonight. We need to rotate, maybe give Toby Collier some minutes. So I'm going to put together my predicted lineup now, and we're going to do a score prediction. I want you to get involved in the comment section. I want you to let me know your score predictions for the game, and I want you to let me know your predicted starting 11. Now, I think Erik Ten Hag will go quite strong for this game tonight. I don't think it's going to be youth players, seeing as we put out a strong team against Barnsley last weekend. So I'm going to go with this, right? I think it'll be relatively similar to the team that played against Barnsley a week ago. Was it a week ago today? A week ago yesterday. So I think we will see... will it be Bayinda? No. I think it'll be Onana in goal. I think he'll go for a centre-back partnership. It will either be Maguire and Johnny Evans, or... will it be Maguire and Johnny Evans? I think it might be, I think it might be Maguire and Johnny Evans. I think we'll probably see Diogo Dalot at right back tonight, and I think we might see Toby Collier at left back. That would be my predicted back 4. Midfield, I think you're most likely going to see Manuel Ugarte tonight, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see Casemiro either. Front 3, I think Rashford will come back to the starting 11. That's what's been reported, that apparently Rashford will come back. Bruno will probably play as number 10. And I think Anthony will probably get some minutes tonight on the right wing, which I've got no problem with. We've got to use our squad. And if Anthony can't shine against FC Twente, then I don't know what to say. But I mean, at the end of the day, right, Anthony got his move to Manchester United after playing well in the Eredivisie. And FC Twente are an Eredivisie side. So he should be fine against FC Twente. And then up front, I'm going with Rasmus Højlund. So just to go through really, really quickly, I'm going with Onana in goal, Toby Collier at left back, Johnny Evans, Maguire as the 2 centre-backs, Dalot at right back. I'm going to do Ugarte and Casemiro as my 2 midfielders, Rashford on the left, Bruno as the 10, Anthony as the right winger, and Højlund as the striker. So quite a few changes there, and obviously then you've still got people like Xerxes, Mason Mount, etc., on the bench available to come on later on in the game. I think it's a really, really strong team that we've got now, and hopefully we get another clean sheet tonight. Score prediction-wise, let me have a look at how FC Twente are doing form-wise at the moment. I think they've done okay, haven't they, so far this season? I think they might be 4th at the moment in the Eredivisie. Let me just double-check that. Obviously, it's quite a weird game for Erik Ten Hag, because Erik Ten Hag played for FC Twente, I think, for like 21 years or something. So it's quite a strange game for him. So FC Twente are currently sat 4th in the Eredivisie. They're ahead of Feyenoord. They're ahead of Ajax. I mean, Ajax are terrible at the moment, aren't they? And they finished 3rd last season, FC Twente. So they're not, they're not a terrible team. They'll be well drilled. Probably a team that want to have lots of possession. I still think we're going to win comfortably. I'm going to go 3-0 Manchester United. I would be very, very, very surprised if we lost tonight. I'd be shocked. I'd be stunned. So yeah, I'm going 3-0 Manchester United. But let me know your score predictions. I think a clean sheet is essential again tonight. If we manage to keep a clean sheet today, that would be 4 clean sheets in a row. And then you can start building. You go into that Tottenham game on Sunday with confidence. And that's effectively what we need. I think a lot of our team run off confidence. Once we go on a bit of a run, I think we'll do okay. So, yeah, I'm going 3-0. A heavily rotated side, but more than enough to beat FC Twente. But I'll be interested to see what you guys all think in the comment section. Let me know your score predictions. I'm going 3-0. Let me know what you think below. Okay, let's move on to a little bit of news about Rafael Varane. And I know some people will say, oh, he doesn't play for Manchester United. I don't care. But Rafael Varane was a Manchester United player until like 2 months ago. And, you know, there were some people in the fan base who wanted Varane to stay. There were some people who were really upset that Erik ten Hag made the decision to get rid of him. But the news this morning is that Rafael Varane has officially retired from football at the age of 31. So for anybody who's unaware, Rafael Varane moved to, I think it's pronounced Como in Serie A. He moved over there just after his contract expired, which was in, I think, June, July. In his first game, he got injured within about 10 minutes. And apparently the injury is so bad that he's just retired from football. I feel bad for the guy. Like, I loved Rafael Varane. I think he's an absolute legend of the game, one of the best centre-backs in my lifetime. But he's another one of those players that just had so many problems with injuries, didn't he? And you know what? You have to give a round of applause to Erik ten Hag and to Ineos for not giving him a new contract, you know? Like, I think he missed about 50% of our games when he played for Manchester United. Real Madrid sold him, 3-4 years ago to us? At that point, he was injury prone. And, you know, the Real Madrid fans were saying, like, we can't believe we're getting this much money for him because he's barely available. We signed him. We had some great moments with Rafael Varane. He was an absolute leader on the pitch. And I don't regret by any means us signing Varane. I was actually at the Leeds game. It was the first game after COVID, the first game since lockdown at Old Trafford when Manchester United unveiled Rafael Varane. And that was, I think we beat them like 5-1. And that was genuinely the best atmosphere I've ever seen at Old Trafford. It was, yeah, as I said, the first game after lockdown. So people hadn't seen a game of football live for like 2 years. And they unveiled Rafael Varane before the match. And it was unbelievable, the atmosphere that day. So yeah, 31 years of age, retiring from football. Obviously, it's sad, but it's what happens. It is a physical sport. It's a contact sport. And, you know, if his body's telling him that he can't continue, then fair play. And you know what? I actually have a lot of respect for Rafael Varane for this. I really do. I don't want to name names, but there are some players who would happily just sit there and keep earning their wages, even though they're clearly injury prone and probably shouldn't be playing football anymore. But he's still got 2 years left on his deal, and he's just said, you know what, I can't do this anymore. I'm going to retire. So he's probably, you know, sacrificed God knows how much money, millions and millions and millions of pounds he'll have sacrificed by retiring 2 years ahead of his contract expiring. So you have to give him some respect for that. He's listened to his body. He said, you know what, I can't continue. Wish him all the best. I wouldn't be surprised if we see him in coaching or punditry or something in the future. So, yeah, massive respect for Rafael Varane. Absolute legend of the game. Very sad that he's retiring, but yeah. Let's see what people are saying in the chat this morning. Simon thinks we'll pick a stronger starting 11 tonight. Maybe he'll go full strength. I mean, he needs to win the game tonight, obviously, because after tonight, remember, we play FC Porto away and then we play Fenerbahce away. So our next 2 games in the Europa League are pretty difficult. Like Porto and Fenerbahce for me are like Champions League level teams. When you think that last season in the Champions League we had Galatasaray, whatever you call them, and we had who was the other team we had? Oh, who was the other team? And we lost to them. It's like a Danish team, wasn't it? Oh, what were they called? My brain's not fully switched on yet. Obviously, we had Bayern Munich, FC Copenhagen. That was it. Yeah, and we lost to them, didn't we? I mean, I would say that Porto are a better side than FC Copenhagen. I would say that Fenerbahce are a better side than FC Copenhagen. And I would argue that Fenerbahce and Porto are, you know, not far off Galatasaray. So, like, the teams that we're playing in the Europa, obviously bar Bayern Munich, are just as hard as the teams we played in the Champions League. And we've got to play both of them away. We don't play Porto or Fenerbahce at Old Trafford. It is away. So it's going to be a very, very difficult run of fixtures for Manchester United. But, yeah, we have to go and beat them convincingly tonight. Because remember, it's a points table now. It's like a goal difference. Is all of that's included. So, yeah, concede no goals. Go and score 3 or 4. That's kind of my expectation for tonight. Yeah, keep getting your score predictions in. I'm always interested to see what you have to say. Right, let's move on to this story about Erik ten Hag's best 11 uncertainty then, shall we? So this is coming out from a couple of different places this morning here in the UK. And the general consensus is that apparently Ineos are concerned that they feel that Erik ten Hag doesn't know his best starting 11. I'm not sure if I agree with that. I think the problem that we have now is that we have lots and lots of good players. I think, the back four and the midfield kind of picks itself. Like, our best starting 11 for me would be, based on what we have at the moment, would be Onana in goal, Dalot at left back, Martinez, De Ligt, Mazraoui. Midfield, I'd probably say you'd go for Manuel Ugarte and Mainu. And then up front, you probably go Garnacho on the left, Bruno down the middle, Ahmad on the right, and Højlund as the striker. That's probably the only bit that's kind of a bit controversial is where does Xerxes go? And I know a lot of people in the chat will probably be saying, what about Xerxes? I personally would like to see Xerxes in Bruno's position, but that's never going to happen. So, we can all want things. We can all say that might work. It might not work. But the fact of the matter is, Bruno Fernandes is the captain of Manchester United. He's the highest paid player at Manchester United after we just gave him a new 4-year contract. So they're not suddenly just going to go, you know what, let's drop him. Like, it's just not going to happen. He doesn't get dropped, Bruno Fernandes. And is that something in his contract? I think it might be. I think there might be some sort of clause that says, if he's fit, he has to play 95% of the games or something. Because it's not normal for Bruno Fernandes to literally play every single game of every single match. When you think that in the 9, how many years has he been here? 4 years? I think he's only missed 4 games for injury, which is absolutely crazy. Which is obviously good. But, yeah. So I don't really understand this whole story of, Ineos are worried that he doesn't know his best starting 11. I mean, surely if anything, that's a good thing. It's a good thing that we have lots and lots of depth. So, yeah. What else have we got? See what else people are saying in the chat this morning. Daniel says, Erik ten Hag addressed this in his press conference, saying they pick the best 11 for that particular game. We have more than 11 best players, which is a good problem to have. I agree with you 100%, mate. They've tried to, spin this into Erik ten Hag doesn't know what his best team is. But as you said, there's different teams for different games. Like, you don't put your best team out against Barnsley. You put your B team out. And I think because Erik ten Hag seems to rotate quite a lot at the moment, the media are turning on him saying that he doesn't know what he's doing. He's dropping Rashford when he's in form. He's doing this, he's doing that. But if he doesn't rotate and we get injured, then the media and the fans say, Erik ten Hag doesn't know what he's doing. He's not rotating enough. So he can't win. If he rotates, he gets criticised. If he doesn't rotate, he gets criticised. So, I mean, what's he supposed to do? Like, there's no way of winning if you get criticised for doing either of the two options. Like, it's stupid. But at the end of the day, you just got to remember that a lot of this is just to make stories, to fabricate controversy, and that's effectively what this mainstream media is doing with this Erik ten Hag situation. They're trying to cause, problems when there isn't problems, really. The only problem is we can't get the ball in the back of the net. That's the only problem for me. We're playing nice football. I don't think we're getting overrun in the midfield anymore. We're not conceding loads of chances anymore. We're creating loads of chances, none of which we did last year, any of those things. Every game we got overrun in the midfield. Every game we conceded like 30 chances against us and only had a couple of shots of our own. This season, everything's improved, but we're just not finishing the chances. And I think, as I've said to you yesterday, if our strikers had been in better form and knew how to finish properly, we could have easily beaten Brighton and easily beaten Southampton, and we'd be sat here on 12 points, second in the Premier League table, saying, we're going to win the league, And that's not even a stretch of the imagination. Like, we shouldn't have lost to Brighton. We shouldn't. And we shouldn't have drew with Crystal Palace. Liverpool, obviously, we deserved to lose and weren't good enough. But even in that game, we had lots of opportunities to score. Xerxes had a couple, didn't he? So yeah, that's my take on that. But I'd be interested to see what you guys all think. But I'm going to wrap the video up here, guys. It's just a short one this morning. I will be back live later on today, obviously after the game. About, what time will that be? About 10 o'clock tonight. So as soon as the game finishes, I will go live. We can do a match reaction, and hopefully we're celebrating a win. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to drop a like, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel if you're new. I'll be back later on today. Speak to you all later. Bye for now.